Good evening. My name is Wallace Gator Bradley. No, make that Reverend Dr. Wallace Gator Bradley. And I'm the host of the Bradley Report. I got a very interesting guest, and we're going to get into it. I'm also the president of United Peace, Inc. This show is being presented to you by United in Peace, Inc. I may be making endorsements as myself, not as United in Peace, Inc., because that's a 501c3. They can't vote, but I do vote. The producer and the director that helped bring the issues for me to present to you is none other than Dr. Terry Marsh Bradley. That's my wife, and she's the chairman of United in Peace, Inc. So, tell everybody who you are, man.
Good evening. My name is Jamel Miller, and I am an author and founder of BTW LLC, and also the host of an upcoming podcast, The Buck the World Show, which will be premiering on October the 7th on YouTube at 7 p.m.
Oh, man. You know, there's a lot of things that's happening. We're looking for the government to shut down because the president ain't doing the right thing, which y'all know. Y'all watch the news like I do. You hear today on the news where the president had all the generals from around the world, United States Army and Navy generals and admirals. And he tells them that the National Guard and soldiers that he wants to come into the various cities is so it can be a training for the Army. And I know they really couldn't believe him. There wasn't no applause, wasn't none of that. They were sitting there looking at them. But the whole world was watching this. The whole country was watching this. And everybody realizing there's something wrong with this man to drag America down like he's dragging it down. But I ain't gonna worry about that, because I know one battle, and that was the battle between God and Pharaoh. So, my sister, hit that show or that link to the story about what's happening in Broadview.
The war of words continued to escalate today between Broadview officials and the federal government. One day after DHS put in a request to have 100 National Guard troops deployed to Illinois, potentially to help safeguard this processing facility, which over the last couple of weeks has become a flashpoint between ICE and those protesting their actions across the area. Flanked by the village's police and fire chiefs, mayors from surrounding communities, and even former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson could not have been more clear.
We don't want them here.
A small village of 8,000 people, Broadview has increasingly come under attack by DHS and ICE. Federal officials accusing local police of ignoring their calls for assistance as protests outside the processing facility have mounted, leading up to Saturday's clashes, where agents once again used pepper balls and tear gas to disperse the crowds, a tactic they have deployed repeatedly over the last couple of weeks, one that has taken first responders here out of commission, as they too have been impacted.
My officers called me and they were literally choking, trying to explain to me and give me a notification. I had to tell them, get to a safe space.
In a Zoom press conference today, state Republican lawmakers called the protests unlawful, pointing to Saturday when 5 people were arrested and charged with assaulting federal officers.
If Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, and the Springfield Democrats refuse to act, then the federal government has no choice but to protect their agents and Illinois overall.
Mayor Thompson, meanwhile, is calling on those guarding the Broadview facility to stop gassing protesters, rejecting the characterization of them as violent rioters, saying this today in a one-on-one interview following the press conference.
When you look at civil rights movement, we've been through this before. Here we are, a war on Broadview. We have to unite and show them that we're not afraid. I'm not afraid, and I won't be intimidated by standing up and speaking truth.
In a statement today, ICE responded to the mayor's comments, saying in part, failure to help provide relief makes you a party to the obstruction of justice. There will be no change in our operational posture until these unlawful activities cease.
Pardon me, I had to rep what he's about. I want to share this with you. The last time I spoke to this man in the studio, he was on the phone calling me from the institution. And now he's out. And you, my viewing audience, know that I believe in helping the individual that's unjustly sentenced or wrongfully convicted. And to see, he's my nephew. His father helped raise my sons, because that's how the family is within the community. His father's ex-felon, I was ex-felon, he was ex-felon, but we out and we doing righteous things, legitimate things, second chance, if you will. He gonna share his life with you, okay? But before you do, I wanna share something with you. Could you hit that,
We begin, everybody, tonight with a man wrongly convicted of murder walking out of prison today.
New evidence has cleared Mark Maxson of a murder that occurred more than 20 years ago. He was serving a life sentence at Stateville Prison near Joliet. Eyewitness News reporter Evelyn Holmes was there when Maxson walked out. Evelyn?
Well, Mark Maxson has been free for just about over an hour now. After years of professing his innocence, it is new DNA evidence that finally freed him. After spending nearly half of his life in prison for a crime he says he didn't commit, Mark Maxson is finally a free man.
That's the best feeling that I could have, because my mother was there, the only, my mother's my stable stability.
The elated 55-year-old smiled as he walked out of the Stateville Correctional Center near Joliet this afternoon, only hours after a Cook County judge threw out his conviction for the murder of a 6-year-old boy on Chicago's South Side.
I wasn't going to give up on him.
No.
And I did what I could.
Maxson was sentenced to life in prison for the 1992 slaying of first grader Lindsay Murdoch. Investigators focused in on Maxson after he told a TV reporter that he'd bought chips for the child and told him to go home. The boy was found dead the next day in an abandoned garage near 107th and State. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Cook County State's Attorney, Anita Alvarez, writes that after an exhaustive reinvestigation, the conviction of Mr. Maxson could not stand. A criminal investigation into the 1992 murder of 6-year-old Lindsay Murdoch remains ongoing.
This case stunk right from the get-go. The judge said the same thing.
No physical evidence ever linked Maxson to the crime. Maxson has always maintained his innocence despite his confession, which attorneys say was coerced by detectives working for the infamous Chicago Police Commander John Burge.
He succumbed to the psychological torture.
Mark Maxson is the 15th person to have his conviction vacated since State's Attorney's Conviction Integrity Unit was formed in 2012.
I tell brothers to stay focused on, stay strong. Foundate yourself on the facts of your case.
Now, Mark Maxson went to a steak dinner with his mother. He says then he'll go home and take a little time to figure out what he's going to do with his new future. Reporting live from Statesville Correctional Center here near Joliet, Evelyn Holmes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
I did my bit in Stateville. That brother was in Stateville. I was down there helping another brother, which he can attest to. I was coming behind the wall helping a lot of brothers as an urban translator. That lawyer, 30-year friend, never would have thought. Make a long story short, you saw where I stood up and was talking about this man ought to get compensated for the time that they had him locked up and how I worked that case from 2013. He's a witness to it. Mm-hmm. He was in the same rooms that I was coming in to talk to him and to show him and to counsel him. And he had life and he's out. He owed me $312,000. I helped him get to $8,750,000. God heard his prayers. God used me as a vessel. Because one thing for sure, he can attest to it, I can attest to it. If you never thought you had a conversation with God, get locked up and watch him answer your prayers with a testimony, which is a sermon from Reverend Dr. Wallace Gator Bradley. But we're here because of him. Give him your story, man.
Well, to make a long story short, I was unlawfully incarcerated for almost a quarter of a century due to blatant police and prosecutional misconduct at the hands of Chicago's finest. I wrote over 2,000 letters in a span of 15 years and received a blessing from God in no certain words or terms, and the form of Jennifer Bonjean out of Brooklyn, New York, agreeing to take my case.
Hold that right there. What's her name?
Jennifer Bonjean.
For y'all that don't know, he know, and I'm going to tell you so. She's also Larry Hoover's attorney.
Yep. Same attorney that got Bill Cosby home.
Yep.
The same attorney that is now representing R. Kelly. This lady, this superwoman, took my case for no money or for nothing, just because she believed in me. She believed in my situation. She believed the conviction that which I expressed my innocence. And a few years later, I'm here. And while I was gone, I decided to assist in the continuing fight against unlawful incarceration or the senseless violence against our women, children, and citizens of the streets of Chicago and throughout all urban communities throughout the country. So I started writing these books, a series of books, Walk With Me, designed to give today's youth and future generations some game that they can gain some from in hopes of deterring them from making the same mistakes that myself and so many others made. So now I'm home and I'm promoting my book series, my first book, 10 Trade the Hard Way, the second book, The Point of No Return, the third book, On the Run, and the upcoming book, Back for the First Time, which details how I got back home for the first time. And now I am on a mission, just keeping true to my word to God that I will come home and I will let everybody know what's really going on behind those walls, the injustice that goes on within Illinois' justice system, and to show them, forget about walking it, you know, because if actions ain't parallel to things that are coming out your mouth, you're really not talking about anything.
You better listen.
So I want to show them like how you can come home and how you can be focused and how you can have that tunnel vision on positive things and taking all of that energy into making things happen, and I'm a living testament to it. And I got this man for authoring the blueprint. His first book, which was studied by myself and many others in those situations, and they helped carry us. They helped us, give us clarity. They helped to give us vision.
Right, and I was my story was from murder to excellence. And a lot of y'all read that and saw how I got a pardon and was able to help other individuals, help elect judges, and the first African-American woman, Carol Moseley Brown, to become the senator. And when I heard from you and you told me what you was doing, you published your own books, From Behind the Wall, and for y'all to understand, you got to be a dedicated man. You got to really be in peace with God to be in peace with yourself, because there's a lot of noise and a lot of nefarious things. You can't, only way you can go through that is using the book of Job as your GPS. And he out.
God did.
Ain't no question. And it ain't happenstance that the attorney that he's speaking of, and Larry Hoover's going to be out. Governor J.B. Pritzker, you hearing it on this show. Because I know his heart, and I know God and the power of prayer to him, to God, through his son Jesus, all things are possible. And we saw how what's happening in Redview, where the people are coming in and they're doing all the wrong things, and just like that mayor, Redview let it be known. Y'all shooting all those chemicals at what y'all think is protesters, but the fumes and all that stuff is affecting the people within the community. But I believe God's power, and I believe it because we the testimonies of what we talking about. If we didn't believe in him, I'm telling you now, I know I wouldn't be here. And if I wouldn't have been here, maybe he wouldn't be here. But I do know that God finds favor with everybody the way he want to find favor with him. Because I'm not saying I had to be here for him to be here. But thank God that we here.
It's a blessing.
There ain't no question. Ain't no question.
Definitely a blessing.
Ain't no question. So he know his being an urban translator too. Because we didn't go to school for this. God put it in our spirit, you know. And my whole thing is this. That's why when he called and said, hey man, what's happening regardless of what's happening in the world. Him being here today in my spirit is more important than worrying about Trump, MAGA, or what they doing, because one thing for sure, when the individual elevates himself as if he's more powerful than God, it's time for me to just get on out the way, get my popcorn and get on out the way. You hear what I'm telling you, man? Am I right or wrong, man?
He laid the bed, you know?
Yeah, so we must be having fun because this show went like that.
Yeah, it went
like that. I want to tell everybody, ain't no question, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, I'm going to tell everybody this. If you're trying to figure out what's happening, read the first and second books of Samuel. And then when you're trying to figure it out, read the book of Job and let it be your GPS. I'm telling you, ain't nothing new up under the sun. You see how the truth is coming out? He tricked everybody with lies, but now when he tell a lie, whoo, truth come out and just show everything about him, show how crooked it is, show how he sided with a guy that's trying to tell you that there's no genocide in the Middle East and the world is seeing it. And then when you see the United Nations and they come and the full world shows everything, all that I'm telling you, pay attention to the signs. With this here, that's what I want to say. They say that a pope would never come from America. Then he do an A&I or an AI, talking about Trump as if he was the Pope. Lo and behold, God used the Cardinals as a vessel and elected a Pope from America. But I'm going to take it a step deeper. He didn't come from Oregon, he didn't come from California, he didn't come from New York. He come by way of Chicago. With that, I want to say to God be the glory. That's our story.
God bless. Thank you.